What's up, guys? In the background, we've been working on my first car, E46 Turbo S54, and trying to dial it in a little bit more. After we dynoed it and turned the boost up, something didn't seem right with the power band of how it kind of rolled over up top, and we had a couple of theories, so we started digging into things, and I'll show you what we found. First and foremost, the wastegate started to crack on the turbine housing, which probably isn't the biggest deal and didn't make a huge difference for power, but it gave us a good excuse to go up in AR. I ran a 101 on this engine and they really like to breathe, so we went up to a 121. Allegedly, we shouldn't really lose any spool, but the big thing that I think is going on with this, I don't know what valve springs are in this engine, and it might be valve floating up top because of back pressure. So going up to the 121, I'm hoping that will make a difference. But one other big thing we found was this little vacuum cap, after doing another boost leak test, finally gave out, had a crack. It wouldn't even hold 5 pounds of boost, so there's a good chance we've been tuning it and doing a bunch of boost leak stuff. Oh, I gotta show you the other new cool thing we did. Check this out, we got a oil pan for my turbo now. So this is like a weird thing that you have to do when you have a rear mounted turbo or when you have a turbo that's below the oil pan. Basically what was happening before, you have a scavenge pump, which before we had not something that wasn't as nice as this, and it sucks the turbo dry of oil. So you have two problems, either it doesn't suck the oil out of the turbo fast enough and the turbo burns oil, or it sucks all the oil out of the turbo and it hurts the turbo. So now we have a proper turbo scavenge pump, and what this tank does is it allows the oil to collect here, and if it gets to a point where the scavenge pump could suck the turbo dry, there's a vent on top so it sucks air instead of sucking all the oil out of the turbo. So I don't think that's related to any of the power issues we had, but that will make the turbo happier. We got the wastegate redone, we got a bigger AR, we got boost leaks fixed, we're gonna put a bigger filter on it. I'm hoping there's some gains. These engines they pull like RBs, and they usually just keep on pulling to red line, so the fact this one rolls over, it's just telling me that something's off with it and I wanna figure out what it is. I can't sleep at night, I can't sleep during the day, it just drives me absolutely up the wall. Up again? Okay, go 25. I think I'm just hearing it inside the engine.
It's definitely, you hear the wastegate, I think.
Yeah, I think if you listen closely, you might hear the wastegate, I think.
Do you think it's coming from the wastegate?
Maybe if you inspect the gate that wastes the energy, it would be leaking from there.
Maybe.
And we're also going to put a bigger air filter on the car, because why not throw a million variables and have no idea which one made the difference? Sí, claro. A little bit more girth. Actually, that's the same filter. Where's the other one?
I was about to say.
Yeah. Now we got all that. Will it fit? Probably not. Let's hope.
Got another 1/4 inch.
I mean, this is a pretty tiny filter to try to make 800 horsepower through.
Yeah.
We could run no filter.
You can't squeeze that many horses through that.
You would know. I mean, that's a good sign if it helps the pressure. See that tiny little hole? We got to stick this big filter through there.
No.
Yeah. Now you gotta lift the engine, you gotta drop the sway bar, you gotta do the tie rod, and then you can get to the air filter.
¿Qué es esto? Boot. Ah, de Ireland. ¿Qué entras? Ah, los radios. Los teléfonos de coches.
Oh, no.
Ay, Dios mío. ¿Dónde está esta camisa? No. Maleta.
La maleta.
La maleta. ¿Dónde está esto? Ah, qué interesante. Claro. Sí, claro, junto a la gasolina. In your dreams.
Just shove it in there, dude. Just cuts to you beating it with a hammer.
Look at the old one start beating the out of it. He's like, what are you doing?
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Piece of filter came off. But, you know.
It got on?
In a second. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You took up all the square footage there.
I could honestly use another inch.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
A ella le gusta la gasolina. Dying to drive this car, so I was just gonna try to tune it myself, but since you're here, I think it's better for the car if you're the one on the keyboard. I'm hoping for at least 30 horsepower more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, a number is just a number, but the way that this thing feels, it feels like it's a bag of top, and I don't like that. So we actually lost 30 horsepower. I don't know why it's doing that. There's a lot of things going on. The current theory, which we kind of had a feeling about before, was that there's an intercooler restriction. Basically what happens is if the intercooler can't flow the amount of air that you're trying to push through it, you get a higher pressure on the turbo side, and that's where your wastegate reference comes from. So it might be telling the wastegate to open earlier, which would explain why, as we add more duty, it doesn't add more boost. But the weird thing is why that's happening when we put a bigger AR on the exhaust housing, I don't really know, but the fun stuff about this is you learn in the process. So if we do have an intercooler restriction, we'll know almost immediately. We're just putting the wastegate reference now on the plenum side, so that would rule that out, and then we just order a different intercooler. Time is running out on the RTR Spec 5 giveaway. I wanted to give a special thank you to all my international friends on here when I announced that we got new discounted rates, and also remind you guys that we do have international eligibility for the giveaway. We got a bunch of international orders, which is always cool to see. I appreciate the support, and it's so cool to see the gear all over the world. Every $5 you spend on lzmfg.com, drifthq.com, or rtrvehicles.com is gonna get you locked in, enter for a chance to win this thing at $15,000 cash. I'm bummed to see it go, but stoked to see it go to a good home. Make an extra couple pounds moving the wastegate line, which does tell us that there's an intercooler restriction. I do think though we're still hitting some other wall that we don't know of, because we still run into the same power rollover, even though it's making more boost on gate. Once we start adding duty to it, it doesn't really do much. But you can see there, this is wastegate post intercooler and pre intercooler. It picks up quite a bit of power, but again, that's just kind of us tricking the wastegate to clamp shut. So a more free flowing intercooler would probably help us a lot. As you can see, we did end up making some gains. Now, at first, the results weren't that promising. Freddie actually wound up playing with cam timing a bit. I think that in conjunction with the bigger AR, which probably let the engine breathe a little bit better up top, found some serious horsepower. So, the bigger AR, we did lose a little bit of spool. Let's say this is 4,900 to 5,100, so about 200 RPM. But, look at this up top. We had gains from 711 to 830. And our peak number went up all the way from 745 to 840. So I really wanted to crack 800 with this, but more than anything, I just wanted to feel better up here. It rolled over so hard before that it just kind of didn't feel like an S54. It kind of felt like, I don't know, like a meaty mid-range 1J. But now this thing is, she's a screamer. So we'll go and we'll drive this thing this weekend, get some footage for you guys. But for now, we're actually gonna put the 4-rotor back on the dyno. We think we found some things with that, so we'll see what comes of it. You guys all know him, we all love him. Rob Dom reached out and wanted to offer some advice. He was sending Freddie over some suggestions on injection angle. Basically, you can change the timing of where the injector fires, and it has to do with where the rotor is in each stroke. Freddie took that and he actually has been steady stating the car and making adjustments and has found some power left on the table, just from moving around where that injector is. So Rob gave us a good starting point. Freddie knows from piston engines what to do, so he's basically been holding it at different RPM. And you change that like split millisecond timing of where the injector sprays, and a lot of times you can find power. So I think he said he saw gains of up to 50 wheel just doing that. So it's gonna be really interesting how that extrapolates over the entire dyno curve once we do a sweep. You can ignore what's going on up top because of heat soak, but it is a pretty substantial gain that you can see down here from playing with injection timing, picking up as much as 20 wheel. This is just the comparison of 2 different maps that we have on the new motor. Now, this is comparing the old motor to the new motor. For all intents and purposes, we'll just say pretty much the same power up through here. Like I said, there's heat soak going on, but there were some minor gains down here. I do think that we're gonna be able to get rid of this little hump once we put it in real life. The weird thing is, for whatever reason, we can't rely on the O2 sensor on this engine that much. I don't know if it's a rotary thing, but it almost gives you false readings, maybe because of excess fuel being left over or how the rotary strokes work. But we've both basically made the decision, enough beating on the Supra on the dyno. I wanna get into some real world scenarios, start to dial it in, do some driving with it. I do think there's more power left on the table. Maybe it comes from header design. We're planning to redo it anyway to change the length to try to get the sound a bit more high pitch. And it is very possible when you accomplish that, the different runner lengths create a scavenging effect and may free up some power too. Bottom line is the car is gonna be fun as to drive. It was before, I'm sure it still will be, but it's gonna be a hell of a lot more reliable now. Enough with the dyno for now. Let's go drive this thing.
First pass with the big power. And it spins now. 3rd gear. Alright, I like that. Let's try that again and see if we can get some traction this time. Roll into it. That's what I'm talking about. That's my headline is like flying out that. Alright, this thing is certified splicing now. Before it rolled over and it felt like a Dumbledore elephant. Now we're packing, boys. I'm ready for 2nd gear. Give it to me. The fact that this is my first car just makes it infinitely that much more special. I'm very happy. Let's see what we'll do in 2nd gear. I hope it's tire and not clutch. I don't smell clutch. That means it's time to drop the pressure! We will resume after I've made it to my destination. Then we'll have some fun on the way back. I'm going to an Era show. Technically it's a Wage War show, but I'm a big Era fanboy. Era's a band, and I want to make it there without a broken car. So I was like, let me do some rips while I'm close to the compound. That way if I break down, I won't be too late to miss the band that I'm going to see. But now, certified ripper. If a Mustang lines up against me at the light, he's gonna get smoked, and I have confidence in the build, and then the way home we'll have some more fun. But yeah, definitely, this is what I wanted out of the car, that feeling of it continually pulling and lighting the wheels up top. She's a good one. She's a good one, boys and girls. A little cold weather rip coming up. 1, 2, 3. Sick, right?
Yeah, that's...
I just love it because it's so unassuming. Good car.
You still haven't given me a pull in it.
Oh, we'll give you a pull, don't worry. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a pull if you give me a coffee. They get it. They know what I was hinting at. Do you get the joke?
Yes.
I didn't say it though, because that would have been inappropriate.
Yeah, we all get it. We all get it.
Just wanted to clarify.
Thank you for the explanation.
I need the points for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Jokes are better when you explain them.
1 coffee on the way.
It's funny too, because we have such good coffee makers at home, but the idea of going to get coffee and getting out of the house is so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Colette's pissed because the AC's not working. She had to wear a hat.
No.
She's
I just
pissed.
like how these things are just subtly known to me and told told me as we are already in the car, door is shut, and leaving the compound. Hey, can you turn the subwoofer off? That's like out of control at the moment.
It's fine.
Yeah, I can, but I'd have to go unplug it as we're driving. And then, does the AC work? It will.
It's a full E46 experience.
Does the seat go back? 'Cause, you know, I got my little hair clippy thing, it, like pokes out the back. So does the seat recline back? He was like, it will.
But remember, before I had these seats, you were stuck like sitting up under the dash. So, you know, it's better than it used to be. So Polish Adam, he, in addition to making pierogies in all of his free time, he also made us a canvas module that will trick the seats into staying on. Because basically what happens is, because this isn't an M4, it doesn't have the right CAN messaging to the seats, so the seats time out. So they work for the first 15 seconds you plug them in. That's why I said I can unplug it, plug it in, and you can adjust. But then it'll time out after 15 seconds.
Yeah, I remember.
I also put the subwoofer in for traction.
Makes sense.
It's like having some dudes in the trunk, you know, specifically.
Yeah, it works better with dudes though.
Yep. Look, it's one of those truck things you like.
Truck things?
Yeah, it's the thing.
No, that's not it.
It's just not orange.
That is not a C10.
Whatever.
That is a Ford.
It's the same thing.
That is not the same thing.
They're both square and.
No, my C10 has beautiful lines. I think that's like a few years later.
You want to go fishing today?
No, I don't want to go fishing.
Makes pretty good traction, right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize the road was a little wet.
Yeah, it was good. I think my car's faster though.
It's not.
Colette said her car's faster. I have her car on my dyno, so let's see. All right, I gotta give it to her. She makes it a little bit more mid-range, but we got her covered up top thanks to the S54. Interestingly enough, we have the same exact turbo. S54 just breathes better up top than her 2J. To be fair though, that is comparing no nitrous to no nitrous. Her car with nitrous would f my shit up big time.
I think it is though.
You make more torque with the nitrous.
Yeah. Where's the anti-lock button?
I gotta install that. I was thinking about using one of these steering wheel buttons, maybe. It doesn't really need it though. Spool's pretty good.
Do what you just
there's
did.
people here.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
That was awful. No, Colette, don't do it. Don't do it. I turned the key off in the subwoofer when it self-destruct mode.
Don't.
No, seriously, don't. It's so embarrassing. Don't, please.
Yeah, I am
I'm
embarrassed.
gonna go unplug the subwoofer so it cannot do that.
Okay.
I swear to God, if you turn the key off, it's gonna blow my eardrums out.
Never mind.
Don't do it.
No.
Don't even think about it. It never used to do that bad. It would do like one pop.
That was really.
It's awful.